Cassie and Brian, I'm going to ask you both, what is bookkeeping?
We'll go through and help kind of bring order into financials, take a look at everything. And depending upon who your bookkeeper is.
Yeah, I think, what a bookkeeper does, there's so many facets to the value that a good bookkeeper in accounting does. And a lot of those, there's a lot of dirty secrets that CPAs aren't really telling you.
So with that being said, let us talk about the topic of today, which is bookkeeping and accounting. I'd like to welcome our special guest experts. I will put them on screen in a second, but I want to do their bios first. First up is Cassie Cramer. She's with Ascend Bookkeeping. Her team has a combined 20 years of experience in the accounting field. She likes to say that they get nerdy about financial blueprints, cash flow management, and making sure businesses are actually turning a profit, which is what you want in a bookkeeper. And her specialties are bookkeeping and advisory services for real estate professionals, which is us, which is everybody on this call. Along with Cassie, we've got Brian Godfrey, who's with Capital View Accounting. He's a CPA specializing in real estate taxation. CPA stands for Certified Public Accountant. He spent the early years of his career working for multinational CPA firms such as Deloitte and BDO. He lives in Ogden, Utah with his wife and 3 kids. And Cassie and Brian work together. They work as a team to serve their clients' needs. And they work with real estate folks like us. So welcome, Cassie. Welcome, Brian. Let me bring you on screen. So Brian, Cassie, welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you. Hey.
Thanks for having us, Mitch.
No, my pleasure. Yeah. Now, I said this to you before we started, and I'll say it again now. This is the topic, accounting and bookkeeping, that real estate investors love to hate, but they really should love to love, because this is how you know you're making money. This is how you make more money. Watching your financials. And again, most of the people on this call know my story. I did not do well with my financials early on in my career, and I got crushed because of it. Accounting and bookkeeping have a special place in my heart because I didn't do those well. And I know what happens when you don't do them. And so I want to encourage everybody on this call to start thinking about how you put systems together to get your bookkeeping and accounting needs met. And so here's how I'd like to proceed. I've got some questions that I want to kick things off with. I'm going to ask the folks on the call, if you have questions that are related to the ones I'm asking, you feel free to jump in. But after I've asked my 4 or 5, we're going to open it up for general questions, and then we're going to just take this where it goes. And again, I want to try to be respectful of everyone's time and try to keep this around an hour. So I want to start with the basics. I don't want to make any assumptions about anything. So Cassie and Brian, I'm going to ask you both, what is bookkeeping? What does it mean to keep books? And how does it differ from accounting?
Oh, that's a good question. I have a lot of folks who will turn to me and say, well, do you do taxes as well? Or are you a CPA, a tax professional? And honestly, the answer is no. I'm not nerdy about taxes at all. So one thing that it's been kind of explained to us, or explained to us in a way to kind of help explain it to others, is think about us as the nurses and the tax professionals as kind of like doctors. Especially if you're in a hospital setting, you see your nurse a whole lot more often than what you do your doctor. Your doctor's there, they oversee their section there. But if you really want the nitty gritty day to day, we're going to get stuff done, it's your nurse. And that's the exact same thing that happens in the accounting world. Not to discount anything Brian does. I feel like I should say that. But everyone has kind of their certain places where they get really nerdy. So in the accounting world, it's your bookkeeper that you're going to see month in, month out, a couple times a month, even have those conversations just to kind of see what's going on. And we're the ones that kind of check the gauge of your financial health along the lines with you. So we'll go through and help kind of bring order into financials, take a look at everything. And depending upon who your bookkeeper is they might even go down as far deep as like budgeting, even within your your business or whatever it is you're doing there, even potentially up through forecasting, depending upon skill sets that are there. And of course, Brian and tax professionals have a very different part where they'll play their role in their specific places. And I'll let Brian kind of expand on that. But bookkeeping really is just kind of getting all of those numbers, all of those parts there, bringing order and clarity into it. So that's not just clarity for your tax professional or if you're audited for the IRS to have to see, but it's clarity for you as well. So you can make those next financial decisions with as much information as possible, so then you can feel good and confident about what you're doing.
Awesome. I love that metaphor, the doctor nurse metaphor. Cool. So Brian, in that metaphor, you're the doctor, you're responsible for the overarching plan. Tell me how accounting works. What is it? Why do I need it? Why would I care about accounting?
Yeah, I think, what a bookkeeper does, there's so many facets to the value that a good bookkeeper in accounting does. And a lot of those, there's a lot of dirty secrets that CPAs aren't really telling you. There's a little bit of at odds where CPAs, when tax time hits, they're serving hundreds and hundreds of clients. And most CPAs, I mean, it's really in our code of ethics, should be having you sign engagement letters. And oftentimes, if you read those closely, they basically will say, we will prepare your return based on the information you provide, and we will not audit you. And so that's a really, I don't know if it's a fancy way, but it's a way to basically say, like, brush our hands. What you send us is what we're going to file. And so at the same time, if you don't have a CPA that's working with a good bookkeeper and a good relationship, bookkeepers on the other hand are saying, hey, we don't understand the full tax code. We're going to give an accounting, but there's really a gap there if you don't have the right team of not having your best interest at heart due to the nature of just getting busy and kind of putting their hands up in the air and not maximizing your bookkeeping. So the thing with a quality tax return is built on quality accounting. And so especially with real estate, there's so many good reasons. A good accounting, you'll have a solid balance sheet, which will help finance future deals and will help you get loans. It'll track the interest and expense and just make sure you're writing off the right thing. Cassie and her team are awesome at that. But I would always recommend, as you look at your bookkeeping, to make sure the properties you're buying are being capitalized correctly. And that's one thing that your CPA will be doing should be doing is reviewing your closing documents in conjunction with your bookkeeper to maximize the value of what's capitalized.
And I can tell you this right here, right now, you should always have access to your books, always, no matter what. It should never be something your bookkeeper holds. Don't have accountant access or a read-only access. I had a client try to give us authorized user, which is similar to adding someone like as an authorized user on a credit card.
Don't forget to click the notification bell so you will get updated when the part 2 is uploaded. Hit like and subscribe for more topics like this in Real Estate Skillset Training channel. Thank you for watching.